Well, the crisis stems from the contradictions between two main currents in black politics. One sometimes is called the assimilationist current, and that is that the struggle is about equality and nothing else, citizenship rights and nothing else, to become Americans, and that's it. And once we have achieved this Americanness, then the movement is over. The other current is, I call, the self-determinationist current, which recognizes African Americans as a distinct people, having become a distinct people here in this country, who have the right to choose their own political path, to express, to try to build a world as they see it, based upon a worldview that they are entitled to because of their peoplehood, which they achieved in this country. And often, in fact, certainly all the way through the 60s, these two currents ran parallel to each other in the same direction. However, once we achieved legal status as full Americans, the contradictions between the two currents, the one that would just like to assimilate and measured its progress by how American-like we were, and the other, which wanted to express our view of the world, to shape the world as we thought it should be shaped. That of course is done politically. There was a divergence there. These contradictions have come to the inevitable head with the election of Barack Obama. It certainly is a profound change in terms of that current that seeks to be totally integrated into this American project. It does not challenge that American project, a project that began with genocide and enslavement and continues as imperialism. So for those who simply wanted to integrate into this American project, to, as Martin Luther King once said to Harry Belafonte, run into a burning house, this is the epiphany. This is the end of things. This is the reason to call a halt to the movement. But for those of us whose project is not a continuation of this American project from genocide and slavery and now to imperialism, certainly that was no signal for us to end our struggle. Obama is a corporate Democrat. He's a corporatist. He's exactly what he seems to be. Within the black community, there is this notion, almost generally shared, that Obama is winking at us, that he's playing a game until he secures his position of authority to the extent that he can become his own man. This is when the brother Obama will emerge, and we should just wait and be supportive of him, not do anything that might weaken him. At some point, this blacker Obama, this more progressive Obama, this independent Obama, this anti-corporate Obama will make himself known. We at Black Agenda Report have no such illusions. He is a corporate Democrat who ideologically and practically is no different than Bill Clinton or his wife. I think, in fact, that Obama is pretty much the perfect corporate guy. I could see him in a very large multinational corporation with big holdings in the United States, something like a Ford or a General Motors, or the old Ford and the old General Motors. And Obama would be the kind of executive who would try to reconcile the various profit centers within Ford, let's say, and more importantly, reconcile the different imperatives in that corporation. There be some parts of the corporation whose job it is to cut throats, to kill the competition, to trim workers' remuneration at every point of production. These are the mean guys. And then there are other parts of the corporation whose job it is to present that the whole institution as benign. This is the part that says Ford is good for Michigan. Ford is a native son. Ford cares about you. Ford contributes to your charities, you see. Now that's the benign section of the corporation, and all of them have a job to do, and sometimes they're antithetical, but they're all necessary for the machine to run. Barack Obama would be great at that. So if we're talking about the United States as a corporation, he does that perfectly. He tries or attempts to do it. He tries to reconcile the irreconcilable. He's going to reconcile labor and management. He's going to reconcile blacks and whites and browns by inviting representatives of each to have a beer on the White House lawn. This is what a corporate guy would do. He seems to come from that mold. Barack Obama is speaking from basically the same position as Bill Cosby. It is also a position that is quite fine, jibes very well with what corporate power, the way corporate power would like you to think. Let's go back again, however, to black politics, and I mean that in a broad sense. Usually, the conversation revolves around questions of self-help. People like Cosby and the words that Barack Obama is mouthing will always go back to self-help. We need to help ourselves. This line of argument basically rules out political organization of the people, putting masses of people in motion as a kind of self-help, when in fact it is the most important self-help that we can possibly engage in. We did put ourselves in motion in the late 50s and the 60s and into the early 70s. And during that very brief period of time, we made greater strides than we had ever made in the United States of America. And it wasn't because we pooled our money and formed black businesses and bought shares in a Black Star Line. It was because we organized at every level that we were represented and demanded change. That is self-help. So when we hear these pull yourself up by your bootstrap cliches, what we're hearing is folks saying, you don't need to be organizing and making all that noise. You see, just clean yourself up and put on a tie and apply for a job. And if you don't get it, come back again and try to get yourself some education. But don't you dare organize against the powers that be. When in fact, that is the ultimate self-help. And you're helping everybody else as well.